I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Happy birthday, Biblical Furby. Is that your username? Happy birthday, Biblic Furby. Biblically accurate Furby. Is it Lore Fury Friday if it's during October? Absolutely. Hold on, I'm booting up Elden Ring right now because we actually had a couple... Ooh, shit, we have a download, so it might sputter. Also, couple things happening. Lee is obviously, like, working on music, so occasionally you might hear... you might hear noises in the background. No, it's okay. I just was letting the people know what that was. Lee just yelled, sorry. Hi, been a minute. Hey, Teslava, how you doing? To be fair, we've also been just like streaming Sekiro for biblically accurate Twitch subscription. Yeah, make frenzy. We're gonna do a couple of things today. I think that I want to do... sorry. I think I want to do half of the stream as Lore Theory Thursday. And then half of the stream we might play some Sekiro. Oh, we're still listed as Zelda. Okay, let me fix that. Twitch likes to sabotage me. But how are y'all doing today? How are y'all doing today? Let's get rid of Zelda and let's do just chatting. Should be renamed Lore Theory Friday these days. I know we're doing pretty bad about streaming on Thursday, period. So it is what it is. I kind of just have to take... My schedule is so fucky that we have to take it as it comes, and I'm so sorry about that, y'all. But thank you for being flexible with me. Walked my sister's crazy cockaboo for 2 hours today, staying with me and my mother today this weekend. Oh, you'll have to post, if you're a part of the Discord, you'll have to post pictures if you haven't already in the pet channel. Happy Friday, y'all. Yes, happy Friday, Patty. Happy Friday. We had somebody asking questions about my theories for the coffin ships that are in... Oh, hold on one sec. Sorry, the Radagon theme song's gonna always jump scare the shit out of me every time we pop this game open. Okay, wait, I have not been here 3 months. I was so fed up after FromSoft games after the DLC. How are things going? Yeah, I think that was the sentiment in general after the DLC. And I felt... I talked about my feelings about it and just about... it's not like a bad thing because I really love the idea of being able to customize your character and make character builds. But I was feeling kind of pigeonholed with the DLC in terms of viable builds, or builds that felt more fun to play through, especially with Radagon and the Radagon and Mikula fight. It was just very different. It's very different, but I do think that Sekiro is one of my favorites in terms of how tight the combat feels and how balanced the game is. I do love it. I don't feel like there's any sagging bits or parts of it that feel... I don't know. They cut the fat. They cut the fat, and it was very... very good. Okay, wait, hold on. Let me get everything set up for y'all. All right. It's a clean machine. Yeah, it is a clean machine. That and the Armored Core stagger system felt very clean too. We need to go back and play Armored Core 6 after they've added the new... because they added more content. They added more weapons and like pieces for your AC. So yeah, I need an invite to the Discord. Hold on one sec, Danger Man. Actually, Danger, can you shoot me a DM over Twitter? I know that we've talked before because you were asking about the schedule, but yeah, shoot me a DM over Twitter. I should be able to see it, and I'll shoot you the link over there after this stream is done. Yeah, that's a nice jacket. Thank you. I thrifted it in Japan. It's really funny. Like the fit of it is really funny. Hold on, let me show you guys. Let me show you guys. The fit is goofy as hell. It's like massive. It's like a dress. Hold on. It's pretty, yeah, fit check. Fit check. Hold on, wait. Okay. Fit check. It makes it it's so big. It's so big. I'm swimming in it. I'm swimming in it. But I love it. Nice indoor clothes. I'm freezing, Teslobo. I have both a flannel. Ah, shit. I got up and I fucked up my Elgato. Um, yeah, my indoor fit is flannel and like rain jacket because I just went on a walk with my dog and I'm too cold and I'm not gonna take anything off. Come here. Come here. Also, Cooper has a lot to say. It's a dad jacket. Yeah, they had this beautiful Carhartt that was like this forest green, and it had like a corduroy collar, like a tan corduroy collar, and it was the most beautiful thick jacket I've ever seen. But it was like the equivalent of I think it would have been about like $150 US dollars when I was over there, and I was like poor as fuck, so I wasn't about to spend that much money. But this one was like $60. So here, come here. Here, here. You can't bark at me and then run away. Come here. You can't do that, dude. You can't do that. Come on. Cooper has a lot to say. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. All right. I heard there was a big jacket stream going on. Yeah, absolutely. I thrifted a really big jacket like that too. It's my favorite. It's so good. It's a perfect palette for an armored core. Absolutely, 100%. I should make an armored core unit based off of this. So yeah, we got somebody submitted a question regarding what I think the coffin boats are. Sorry, I'm trying to remember things. We have to play as Sicko the Virus, obviously, because we need to go into areas that I've already been. So we're not going to be playing the game today. We're just going to be talking about lore theories. We have a lot. It's been a hot minute since we've been playing Armored Core, so this is going to be very disorienting because we've been in Sekiro. Shadow Realm map. There we go. Okay, so let's go to the Fisher Cross because it actually gives us a good look of the ship. Somebody was asking here, hold on, because I think it was Tarnished Archaeologist who stated that they think that these are kind of like the arcs. But I have a lot of theories about what this is in particular. And when they started to be utilized. Also, sorry, Cooper's gonna snore like a piggy because it's that time of year. Okay, I think we're good. Right, and I think there's actually somebody did an asset breakdown of this boat. They were able to like clip into the ship and you could see the interior of the boat. Or I think that you can actually get into one of the boats by doing one of the jumping puzzles, and it's just kind of like a hollowed out. Is that? I was just in Japan thrifting. It's incredible. Ah, AVR, it's so true. They have a lot like what's very trendy right now in Japan, especially Osaka, is like a lot of Western fashion, and in a lot of the thrift stores that you see in Osaka is like this is this a Columbia? Yeah, this is a Columbia jacket. There's like Patagonia, Columbia, Carhartt. They pretty much got all of our like good shit. They like snagged all of our good shit from our thrift stores and then took it back with them and are selling it over there. That's fantastic. There's a lot of like really interesting pieces that are actually from certain like industries. Like there was a waste management jacket that had somebody's name embroidered on it, kind of vibes. So Baka Burner says, I don't believe you can get inside of any of them, but I believe it was Kara that was pulling screenshots of the inside for us. Okay, yeah, I remember seeing the screenshots and I remember seeing the there's like a video. Okay, Tarnished Archaeologist had a theory about an age of lava sea, and I feel that this confirms it. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, congrats. Congrats. Yeah, thank you. So, I want to talk a little bit about the Shadow Realm, and we can talk a little bit about there's this spire that says that all manners of death wash up here. It definitely seems that ever since, so we know this like canonically in the base game lore. Wait, Tarnished Archaeologist says a lot of things, and I don't think the DLC confirms a word of it. I don't watch, like I said before, I don't watch a lot of Tarnished Archaeologist videos currently, especially since I was trying to sort out my own thoughts on the narrative, but pretty much what I've got from this is that we have this like other realm that Queen Marika created to act as like a veil. She sealed it away and it acts as like a secondary place where she can chuck shit. And you can like throw anything that you don't like in there. It's like a big garbage can. It's like it's a big dumpster. And the suppressing pillar confirms this with the in-game lore, but I also feel that these ships confirm it too, and we get a little bit about the ships specifically from the map items. I always forget what category they're in. But not a lot of people realized... Yeah, here we go. It is the maps. Okay, the Abyss? No, it's the... Where was it? What was it? Deep Root Depths. Does anybody remember what it is? Let's see. Maybe it's just the southern shore. Okay, the Gravesite Plain. Captivating vista of brilliant blue flowers intermingled with colossal stone coffins of unknown origin that seemingly drifted to this place. To the east, the jagged peak thrusts upwards in the clouds. So we know that they are coffins. We know that the ships are giant coffins. We know that putrescent flesh leaks out of them. So it seems like these were burial coffins. And in the era before, what we do know from the map... Oh wait, the suppressing pillar being explicitly Ool is weird to me. I mean, that gives us like some sense of a time period though, Teslobo, because I kind of figured that it was somewhere between like post Ool leading into say there's like there's definitely a time period I want to say in between Ool and then the later Noxtella, obviously. But I think that Ool is still has its own post Belurot time period. Does that make sense? It's like Noah's Ark but nasty. Yeah, so pretty much we do know that there was an entity called the Glomide Queen. We know this. We know that she existed. She is like an entity that was in the game's lore. We know she existed. We know that her and the Godskins were responsible for dealing with the death of the gods, right? But then we know that the Deathrite birds were responsible for dealing with the death of most other creatures and matter. And so it makes sense that after the Glomide Queen is sealed away and like the Deathrite birds become heretical and just the attitudes about death kind of become a little bit more of a distant cult or like a distant practice, it makes sense that they deal with death in like a different way. Right? So I always got the vibe that very likely people that lived in Ul or people that lived in Noxtella created these coffins to deal with dead matter and just shipped it out, and then it ended up in the Shadow Realm, or it was intentionally put into the Shadow Realm by like Queen Marika's homies during that era of her life, because we know that she was involved with Noxtella and Nokron. Like, we know that she was there, like the Newman and the Nox, and we know that she has ties to them and all this other stuff. So I've always wondered if, like, during this time period of her life, the Realm of Shadow existed, and then she was like, they were shipping dead bodies because they didn't have any other way of dealing with certain types of dead matter. And so it kind of seems like that putrescence, this is like the dumping ground for it, right? This is like the toxic waste dump, effectively. And that's also why we see some deathrite birds congregating here. But then the lore of the putrescent knight and Saint Trina is super interesting, because a lot of folks think that I know that it was it Sekiro Doobie or somebody that said that the putrescent knight used to be called the Glowmide Queen Knight, or like the Glowmide Knight or whatever, and a lot of people took that to think that maybe Saint Trina is the Glowmide Queen. I don't think it's quite like that. I think what's happening here is and this is something that we can get confirmed with the sword. Also, I'm going to put on some music, by the way, because I don't want to listen to... But yeah, in the Velvet... Do I even have it? I kind of wonder if I do. No, I do. I totally do. I remember we specifically went and we got it on this character. Yeah. Okay. Hold on one sec. Let's get some... Let's do... We'll just do Ginza again. Okay, so the Velvet Sword of Saint Trina says that when Saint Trina was abandoned, the faint purple light mists coalesced into an intoxicating deep purple cloud. And so we know that Saint Trina initially was associated with light purple and with like that lavender color, but then it changes. Her color changes, and it seems like her flowers and even like her body are growing in this environment. Like the waters are putrescent and she's growing in it. So she's kind of becoming one with the putrescence. And so sleep is no longer like a gentle light sleep. It's like straight up with Tolier's plotline, we kind of learn that this newer... Hold on one sec. I couldn't tell if Cooper was getting into something or if Lee was moving around. It gives me the vibe that Saint Trina is becoming almost like Glowmide Queen 2.0. It was like Queen Marika did everything that she could. Queen Marika and Malekith did everything that they could to seal away the Glowmide Queen, and it kind of seems like no matter what they do, iterations of her keep popping up. Do you know what I mean? They keep popping up. Okay, wait, the stone ships being half buried in the cliffs and only being around here suggests the area was submerged in soft mud once. Yeah, I could see that. The fissure's like a drain where the high waters sucked everything into it. Yeah, exactly. And so it got like everything that was abandoned and dumped here kind of got sucked into it. And it's like this own little... It's like its own little thing. What happens when she dies? Oh, she leaves her like... Oh shit, she actually like falls out of her flower. I never came back and looked at her after this cinematic. I didn't realize that she kind of breaks in half. Damn. Yeah, she straight up she loses her lower torso, I guess. Wow. Wait, so are you saying that iterations of the Glowmide Queen are showing up? Yes. So the way that I view it is I feel that given Melena's state of her being burned and bodiless, I feel like she's kind of a fragment of the Glowmide Queen because she is a Glowmai towards the ending. I think that Saint Trina ends up you know, imbibing in putrescence, and the putrescent knight also imbibes in her nectar. And so they're both like feeding off of each other and creating sleep death. It's almost like no matter what Marika does, she can't outrun the horn scent, because the horn scent are now becoming the omen. They still pop up in her pure era. She can't outrun the things that just exist naturally. So, yeah, it's like super neat, but that's what I think the coffins are. Somebody was asking if I thought that they were kind of like the arcs of the animals, because we see a lot of animals in this area, and I don't think that's the case. I think a lot of the sleeping animals that exist down in this pit are just drawn to the slumber of Saint Trina. I don't think that the animals came from the boats, if that makes sense. I think that the putrescence, the rotting flesh, and the dead are what was buried. But it's pretty clear that some animals were buried too. I mean, the putrescent knight has a horse that was buried with him. So it seems like maybe there was some kind of like ritualistic burial stuff happening. But yeah, I wondered if being glowmide was something someone could attain as opposed to it being something unique to the Gek. I think it is like any... So say if you... sorry, more noise. Say if you are like a governing god and your power has been fragmented, it can be dispersed after it's fragmented. All things come from like a singular ring, the Elden Ring, and then you can like break up the ring into little parts. And depending on what pieces certain people have, they have different like attributes almost. And I feel like after the Glowmide Queen's like aspect, or like her part of the Elden Ring was dispersed, it seems like it was dispersed amongst multiple different entities or creatures. Things get buried with the dead is a very common theme in ancient Asia. Yeah, it's also like super pertinent in Eurasia too, and like a lot of this game takes place from like Mesopotamia, and also like the Mediterranean, all the way to parts of China. Like we have like instruments from China. The Wandering Caravan uses it's like a special instrument specifically from parts of China. So, and then we also have like the Dancing Lion. We have a lot of other stuff like that. But yeah, I think that is what, I hope that answered the person's question. If I come across it again, because I'm gonna deep dive in our Discord and see. Okay, wait, they're both born from plants too, right? Like Melina was from the Erd tree, and Saint Trina is a flower. I wonder if there's some connection to budding, like with Millicent and Melania. Possibly. So Saint Trina actually has a humanoid appearance in the... Do y'all remember? In the scene where Saint Trina's throwing... Or sorry, in the scene where Mikola threw Saint Trina down into the pit and she's falling, she just looks like a girl with like a veil on. She doesn't look like a plant. It's usually during birth and death that a lot of the kids take on plant-like attributes. Yeah, even Godwin is a plant. Yeah. In death, he becomes Deathroot. Yeah, I think it's just kind of a visual motif that's used to communicate the cycle of life and death, and particularly like how matter, say when somebody dies, how matter decomposes and can feed new life. I think that there's a really strong spiritual visual motif that's being evoked there, and I that's what I think they're trying to communicate with Saint Trina, and then also with everything else going on. But yeah, it's their shaman genes, 100%. That too. But I think that the shaman genes are a little bit of yeah, there's like a visual motif tied in with the shaman genes, right? Of these people that can become trees. And it's not just exclusive. Obviously, I know we have the maidens. Like we have, sorry, there's gonna be loud noises this whole stream. There's tons of maidens. Like there's tons, we know that there's the shrine maiden word that's used to describe the people that lived at the shaman village, but there's also men that turn into trees too in this story. So I would feel that, like, as far as Marika's children who embody her abilities the most, I do think that despite the fact that Godric is a little shit, he does his grafting abilities fully you know, line him up with the shaman lineage. At first I thought he was utilizing the Godwin corpse because the modded shield refers to it, and he could still be, but I think that there's a lot of little details that don't necessarily matter or are important, or if they were important, they were left on the cutting room floor and are kind of left interpretive now. So I don't think that a lot of this stuff ultimately matters. I do think the main takeaways are just hurt people, and like ambition can be scary and bad. I think those are the main takeaways. But yeah, kind of like flowers rising from graves are a symbol of rebirth in the cycle of life. So Iron Man, something really particular about the water lily and the lilies that Saint Trina is represented by, like visually, is that they are the same lilies that we use during Easter Sunday. So certain denominations or certain groups in like Abrahamic faith, if you celebrate or talk about Easter Sunday, a lot of the time you'll see white lilies that are being presented. Sorry, did I say water lily? Like white lilies are being presented at service, like at church. You'll see white lilies, and it's because they're representative of reincarnation, but specifically they're representative of a trumpet. The shape was visually used as a trumpet in like religious motifs to hearken in the second coming, or like the resurrection. So this like visual imagery that we have with flowers, I feel like Miyazaki and the art team cooked, because every single flower that they use has a spiritual or religious meaning, or has some pretty cool folklore tied to it, but almost all of them have to do with rebirth. Except for the eyes of yellow. This one has a really interesting folklore or like story about a tragedy, which is really cool. But yeah, a lot of the lilies, and then like the grave violets, the spider lilies, have to do with samsara and the cycle of suffering, and are commonly used in Japanese spiritual rituals to like guide the spirits through samsara. So yeah, it's really cool. I love all of the flower symbolism that they use. They did a really good job. They were really careful to pick and choose the things that would because I would say fuck, I was talking about this with Lee this morning. Okay, raise your hand in the chat. Raise your hand in the chat if you played Link's Awakening. And if you did you ever get stuck on that mission with the raccoon? Did any of y'all get stuck with a raccoon? Let me look up specifically. So I grew up both Catholic and Germanic Lutheran, but then I also went to a Presbyterian church with my friends, and then I've been around Baptist churches. But let me double check. Easter Sunday lily. Let me see what large white trumpet-shaped flowers of Easter lily, lilium. These plants bloom at the appropriate time for the religious holiday. Why does the lily symbolize Easter? The white lily symbolizes purity, rebirth, new beginnings, and hope, often associated with the resurrection of Jesus Christ. But this was reappropriated in pagan traditions. It originally was that the Easter lily was associated with motherhood and was often gifted to mothers as a symbol of gratitude. But it was then, I think it's just because specifically like Easter lilies grew at particular times of year, and so we would associate them with certain holidays. Yeah, hold on, let me pop open. It doesn't say which denomination this is. I've just always seen it in like every single church that I've ever gone to, so I don't know. If you're Baptist, you might not. I know that Baptists, certain churches don't celebrate certain holidays because they view it as like pagan. Oh no, Baptists do celebrate Easter. Oh, but some Baptists have historically been opposed to it. Some Baptists celebrate Holy Week, the week before Palm Sunday and Easter Sunday, which commemorates Jesus' sacrifice and resurrection. Anyway, we're getting into like Bible studies now. Yep, I had no idea how to do the raccoon puzzle. Okay, so in Link's Awakening, there is like a raccoon and you have to go get a mushroom and make powder and then blow the powder on the raccoon's face to get it to sneeze. And then the raccoon will then transform into a man. So there's like some... there's some... If you're American, you might not be familiar with like tanukis, or the mythology surrounding like trickster gods and how like tanukis can shapeshift. And there's all this like visual symbolism that's specific to Japanese culture in particular. So when I was a kid in America playing, you know, Link's Awakening, I had no idea what the fuck was up with this raccoon. I had no idea how to resolve that puzzle or that something was up with the raccoon. Like I didn't comprehend that raccoons sometimes have an association with shapeshifting or with like trickster magic. Totally missed it because I was 8. I was like 7 or 8 when I played that game. But it's pretty cool seeing in Elden Ring how like despite the fact that this is a game from Japan, they're able to use, like Miyazaki is able to parse both Western symbols and symbols from Japan. And a lot of the time he'll find like the analogous one. So grave violets, for example, while they're not associated with the resurrection of a particular deity or like person or prophet, they're definitely associated with traversing life and death and like moving through samsara and the cycle of life. So they're associated with reincarnation loosely in the same way that the lily in Christianity is associated with it. So when we're looking at Michela's lilies as Westerners, we're able to be like, oh, I get this. But then Japanese people in the same vein would be able to see a lot of the grave violets and be like, oh, I see. You know, it's like a spiritual thing. So it was cool. It's cool shit. I love to see it. Their art team fucks. Their art team fucks is what I'm saying. I think the raccoon in Link's Awakening and the magic powder was maybe a ketamine reference. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it was a Tanuki reference, but go off, L. Also, I lost my water. Okay, I'm gonna read a couple of these lore theories and we will float around to... shit. We will float around. In this video essay, I will. Can I ask if there are any good books to learn this kind of symbolism? You're like a walking encyclopedia of alchemical knowledge, color theory, flower language, and architecture. Does this name have a field of study or something? I would love to learn this stuff. So, Iron Man, it wasn't like... Man, I kind of want to make a book now. And I didn't come across this knowledge. So, I mean, like, there's esoterica, but that's not even, like, fully a part of it. Because esoterica is just such a small piece of symbolism. Sometimes there's, like, esoterica is a part of it. Like, if we're talking about Western esoterica, for example. But when I was growing up, and I know that Neil Gaiman got canceled recently because he was a straight up an abuser. And I hate to say it, but he was like incredibly influential to me when I was growing up, because he localized a lot of different cultural myths and mythology, and I think that that was incredibly helpful to me growing up, like reaching for books on just mythology. Like I would grab books that were like Japanese myths or like Nordic myths, Scandinavian myths. And I would just pick up all these books on mythology because I loved Egyptian mythology when I was growing up. I was an Egyptian mythology kid. I think it's like the practices and the attitudes or like the sentiments surrounding death fascinated me because death is such like a nebulous concept, especially when you're a kid. It doesn't, you have adults that tell you one thing, and I think growing up in an intersectional household where there were Lutheran people, there were Catholic people. One of my best friends growing up was Muslim. I had a friend, Chris, whose family was partially Buddhist. His mom was Buddhist. So I was just constantly surrounded by all these different like spiritual, attitudes and all these different myths and like ways of communicating and coping with things. But then I think, when we think about esoterica in the West, we think a lot about alchemy. And I do think that a lot of our Western esotericism is entrenched in that. But I think that there's some symbols that even exist beyond that exist in older symbols. So like, for example, when I was talking about, what was the Indus Valley culture, and the master of animals is a symbol. The beast master is like a symbol. So I think there are like symbols that are even more ancient than like I know that esoteric is a broad term, but I think that, I don't know. I think a good place to start, this is hard for me to suggest any books. Because I would say, even though I disagree with Joseph Campbell's monomyth and with Carl Jung's monomyth, I do think that Joseph Campbell books are the place to start. Comparative mythology and the monomyth. Hold on, let me pull up Joseph Campbell, like his works. The main thing that I want to talk about, I've talked about this before, specifically with Joseph Campbell. Hold on. Okay, I'm just gonna read real quick the criticism of the myth and folklore. Okay, so Campbell's approach to myth, a genre of folklore, has been the subject of criticism from folklorists, academics who specialize in folklore studies. American folklorist Tolkien, but Tolkien, says that a few psychologists have taken the time to become familiar with the complexities of folklore, and that historically, Jung-influenced psychologists and authors tend to build complex theories around single versions of a tale that support a theory or a proposal. To illustrate this point, he cites that there's a particular story that has an inaccurate representation of the folklore record, and that Campbell's monomyth approach was another. Pretty much the TLDR of all of this is that while you engage with Joseph Campbell's approach to the monomyth, just be mindful of the fact that some of the takes or theories that he has are overgeneralizations and aren't nuanced enough to like appreciate how certain myths have changed over time and what they meant culturally to specific cultures in isolation. They're just big, broad strokes. And so in order to like appreciate his work, you should be extremely critical of it, is what I'm trying to get at. But I do think that it's important to read his books. So let me get you the books that I would recommend. Power of Myth is really good, actually. Hold on. He used to have one that was just like, where is it? I'm just gonna Google it, actually. The Power of Myth is really good. The Hero with 1,000 Faces is really good. But yeah, like I said, all of these books are like big, broad, sweeping generalizations. And then Hero with 1,000 Faces. I literally have 3 college diplomas and I feel so stupid every time I'm here. Oh my god. No, that's okay though, Haver. So yeah, say for example, like, let me give you an example. He'll be like, the tree of life has to do with home and order and social concept and light, and he'll talk about how this tree of life has been something that's in the Kabbalah, and it's in Egyptian mythology, and it's in Scandinavian mythology. He'll talk about it as if, you know, it's a shared idea. And I think some psychologists feel not that these shared ideas are like innate for humanity, but rather when we look at a flower, we're able to kind of come to the relative same emotional conclusion about it, you know? Or when we see a mushroom, we're able to kind of understand it, but in the same way, symbolically, metaphorically, we might use it in the same way. Like, a lot of different cultures will use crows as like a symbol of death, because crows oftentimes eat carrion, like they eat dead things. So a lot of the time when we so are you talking about Peterson, like Jordan Peterson? Jordan Peterson just preaches Carl Jung shit. But this is like, I've talked about this before, and I don't want to like get down the Carl Jung spiral rabbit hole, but like, that is the bad rabbit hole to go down. Do not go down that rabbit hole. That's why I'm like trepidatious to talk about all of this stuff, because I feel like not a lot of people know how to interface with it correctly. The same way that I don't think that people can interface with like, do you know what I mean? I don't want to send y'all down a path that's going to turn you into a fucking incel. Or like somebody who's incapable of navigating nuance when appreciating art and history. Do you know what I mean? I joined right on time for the archetype comparative mythology critique. I feel blessed. Archetypes? Okay, so here's the thing. Astrology, archetypes, fucking tarot cards. All of this shit is so fun. All of this shit is so fun. I'm out here like reading my tarot cards every morning, like, you know, does that mean that if I looked at the data of my life, that like the tarot cards are accurate? Fuck no. Like, I will sit there and read my fucking Pisces horoscope and just be like, that is so me. And like, maybe 50% of the time it's me. Maybe, and like, sometimes when we get to look into things like sacred geometry, or we get to look into things that are like interpretive and artistic and visual, it's so satisfying and fun. But at the same time, don't give yourself fucking psychosis. Don't give yourself psychosis. That isn't to say that like certain mystic beliefs aren't good, because I think that all spiritual belief can have like some quality to it. But yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's a whole fucking thing. No, little German boy, don't open that Ayn Rand book. Yeah. All just an ink blot test. Fun, I mean, yeah. Pisces gang. Tarot is so interesting. I really enjoy watching Only Helpful Books do readings. Me and Books actually do our readings together. Me and Books are friends. We'll text each other, but we do our readings together quite often. And we're both... we're both in the pits right now. I think a lot of people are going through it, obviously, with the recession. I love my psychosis, to be honest. I mean, fair, as long as you have a healthy relationship with it. As a semi-serious student of astrology and tarot, I have to say that your opinion is based and true. I forgot we're both Pisces. Let's go, Bray! No, fully. I exist with like my feet in two different worlds at the same time. I am like a data analyst by trade. I got my degree in research methodology. I did clinical research for like 6 years. My other foot is fully in the astral plane. my other foot is fully communing with the spirits. So like this side of me is fully like, this is bullshit, but this side of me is like whoa. Oh, that somehow explains so much. I'm Adorno, astrology fascist, corridors fascist, jazz music, believe it or not, fascist. Yeah. Pisces game rise up later. Yeah, later. I think that it's kind of like, I see spirituality as just behavioral patterns and ideas. And so, say for example, if somebody does a bunch of weird shit during their lifetime, so for example, in Nevada, there is a place between California and Nevada around Lake Tahoe where there was a mountain man who lived, and he had so much weird fucking shit, like weird behavior, weird shit associated with him. He apparently lost his toe to frostbite and would like carry it around and like show people his like fucked up toe. And he would sail around the lakes. He built a church for himself. He built a church for himself one day because he wanted to be buried in it. And then he like disappeared. And nobody knows where he ended up or if he like died out there in the woods. But it's like his behavioral patterns impacted, and like his story has impacted so many people that it's become like a folktale. It's become like a part of our social lexicon. And when I think of like behaviors and stories and lessons that are learned by humans interacting with other humans, I feel like in that sense, that is the soul. Does that fucking make sense? I don't even know. I hope for my material. What a Leo. Fire giant shit. Yeah, fully fire giant shit. So I think that despite the fact that I'm not a spiritual person, like, I think that in a sense, I don't know. That's a little Buddhist. That is a little Buddhist. He escaped the simulation. There are two wolves inside of you, and both of them want to know if you would love them if they were a worm. Yeah. Anyway, let's keep going. Let's keep going. So we had a couple of submissions from a while ago, and I'm so sorry to everybody who has been submitting things. I've been taking a break from lore theories, so I appreciate y'all for giving me a little bit of a break. So Bakaburner submitted this one that says, how do you feel about Bayle being the first human to partake in dragon communion? The dragon priestess explicitly said that Egon, the Drake warrior, reminds her of Bayle. It would help explain why Placidusax decided to create the practice of dragon communion, as they thought only another man that's partaken in dragon communion has a chance at defeating Bayle after the dragon lord failed. It would help explain why the giant dragon is missing his whole chest, and why the Dragon Communion Church used that house to alter almost non-existent because it's old as fuck. It also explains why Bayle isn't an ancient dragon, even though he's referred to as being around as old as the Dragon Priest and Fair Missoula, but doesn't share the same morphology as the rest of the ancient dragons. He's literally built different. Bayle's heart also looks identical to the hearts that we consume for dragon communion, with gravel stone growing out of the parts of red flesh. Meanwhile, the priestess has given up her ancient dragon form. Her heart shares more characteristics with ancient dragon heart than worm hearts. The dragon priestess even remarks that Egon, a Drake warrior, reminds her of Bayle. I think Bayle was the first person to partake in dragon communion and betrayed Placidusax, which led to Farum which led Farum to create the practice of dragon communion. So if the dragon lord was almost defeated by a man fused with a dragon, then a man fused with a dragon is the only way to rid the world of Bayle. So now I have to ask the most important Elden Ring question of all. Could human Bayle get it? Yes. I actually really like this theory, and I do think that there's some credence to it, but I think there's some symbolism that's going on with the dragons too, and how dragon communion and the path of the dragon used to be told in Dark Souls. I don't know if you'll remember, but in order for you to ascend to dragonhood, you have to meditate on a cliffside in Dark Souls 3 in order to transcend your physical self. And then also, if you want to become a dragon, you have to get rid of your title and you have to get rid of your ego or your sense of self. So when the Nameless King transcended into Archdragon Peak, he like let go of his title and he let go of a bunch of things. So I do think that there is like this relationship that the Soulsborne games have had with like human transcendence and humans trying to become dragons and humans failing to become dragons and becoming, you know, like the dragonkin warriors or these like weird bastardized half dragons like Orsirios. I do think that there's something going on there with humans and dragons. So this is like, I fully feel this. I get this. I totally understand. I totally vibe with you on this. So yay Baka Burner. Okay, wait, so sorry. Backtracking the conversation, why did Marika keep the fire giant around? Why not completely destroy the power that was a threat to the Erd Tree? Was it a failsafe that she was sitting on? I think that it might have been a failsafe. It seems that she needed somebody to... Okay, I think maybe you can't fully destroy outer gods. And so I think in some sense the fire giant... Isn't there lore about like the fire giant was left to... The fire giants and the fire monks were kind of like left to monitor the fell gods, the remnants of the fell gods' power, as like punishment. Fire Giant was a survivor of the war against the giants. Upon realizing the flames of their forge would never die, Queen Marika marked him with a curse. Okay, so yeah, the fell god's power cannot go away, and so the giant is cursed with having to tend the flame for all eternity. So yeah, that is why Marika kept the fire giant around. It seems that the fell god persisted no matter what she did. I think that some of our symbols and narratives, the links between different cultures, has something to do with the human mind and human beings doing their best at understanding the world. Like given the qualities of flowers and seeing where they fit in nature, life, etc., many cultures arrived at the same conclusions, and that's because they made the most sense. Back then, many aspects of spirituality and folklore were literally the most logical way of seeing the world back then. Yeah, it was also, so folktales and like pagan beliefs originally existed so that way we could communicate skills, specifically agricultural skills. So creating holidays or creating folklore or creating stories that centered around teaching agricultural cycles or the life and death of nature or when to harvest certain things and when to like cut down your fields. That way this kind of this is like early education. It's like early education. It helps communities be able to kind of like piece apart what they need to do during certain seasons and like what to then pass on to their children. Say for example, if you don't have school yet, like school as an infrastructure, school as like a concept didn't exist during certain periods. So like communal teaching, I think that's another reason why it's like important. But yeah, I think, like, say for example, you notice that like during this like season after winter, say you're like early man, and you notice that after winter there's tons of bunnies and tons of baby birds and tons of new flowers and tons of like you're starting to see the coming of spring. That can be you know, it makes sense that a lot of different cultures, despite them maybe not having the same plant life or the same flora, would have holidays that kind of reflect this cycle of coming out of winter. You know, that they would have like cultural celebrations to celebrate, you know, we've made it through the winter and now this season of shit, the season of agriculture is beginning. As a physicist who knows way too much about South Asian mythology and philosophy, I relate. Oh, I feel you. I feel you. The idea is that dragons degrade in generations works very well. People partook in the dragon communion of ancient dragons and became the drakes, and those who partook, their hearts became magma worms. Yeah, that does make sense, Flapple. I agree with that. Hold on one sec. Let me get out of the spooky cathedral. Hold on, what's... Okay. I think Felgod is analogous to Morgoth, who spread himself too thin over the world and then fled. His essence still manifests in the world in faces and word until every part of him recoalesces. Yeah, it seems we did a whole video and like I had a whole segment on this Flapple Pie, but I do think that the Felgod is just the sun. I think it's the sun god. And it was like there's too much that ties the Felgod to the concept of the sun, so I'm very adamant on that. But yeah, it definitely seems that the sun realm is something that disappeared over time. Alright, turns out people fucking love the sun. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Speaking of dragons, I do not know if this is too minimal to constitute as a theory, but it's more of an observation that I hope someone smarter than me might have more advanced thoughts about. It seems pretty clear that the malformed dragon armor depicts the odd structures surrounding Bayle's arena. I have some included pictures for reference. Quelaag seems pretty awed by these things in her blind playthrough, so when I noticed this, I figured it was worth mentioning. The Draconic Sentinel armor that drops this set is the notorious one from Fair Missoula, in front of Gurranq and Malekith's boss door. Despite what seems to be a clear visual connection, the descriptions on each piece aren't terribly helpful to me in terms of relating them to Bayle or the Drakes. Malformed golden armor, adorned with various dragon imagery and worn by misshapen tree sentinels. After the great ancient dragon Gransax attacked, the sentinels had an epiphany. The only way to truly protect the Erd Tree was to become dragons themselves. Could the Draconic Sentinels have known of this, or have been to this place, in what is now the Shadowlands? Maybe partook in dragon communion? Maybe it's just that simple. Come to think of it though, if Draconic Sentinels went to this place to partake in dragon communion following the attack of Gransax on the capital, that would have been the place of separation of the Shadowlands from the Lands Between in the timeline. For them to go there after the attack the Dragon War could have occurred and probably run its course first. That makes sense. I would love for us to get more concrete like timeline stuff. But yeah, the reason why I was so enraptured by this, and I do think this is referencing it a little bit, is because there are sky burial graves that Fair Missoula references, and it definitely seems that Bayle's arena reflects this as well. But let me show y'all. Sorry about the loud. Okay. Big coopy snore. Okay, so oops, I did not mean to do that. I did not mean to do that. We've talked about this on here a little bit before, but there is the Tower of Silence, which was used to get rid of decaying matter or dead bodies, and it was something called a sky burial, where they would put a bunch of bodies laid out in a pretty intricate and organized way. Here, let's get this one. And what would happen here is like the sun and the wind and the elements, and then also birds would pick apart the dead bodies. And that would be the way in which the bodies were like disposed of within this culture. So that practice is something that's being used both in Farum Azula and also in Bayle's Arena. I think that Bayle's Arena has this. Hold on, let's actually go there really quick. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm a little sleepy today. I think it's like super rainy. We're finally getting into Pacific Northwest rain. It's so rainy. It's so rainy. Like a part of me loves it because it feels like good book weather. Feels like good book and video game weather, but I do feel like I should make some tea at some point with that has a little bit of caffeine in it. I have this hot cinnamon spice black tea that is my go-to during this time of year, and I have like a fuck ton of it. I really like the idea of the Fell God being the literal title, with him representing the Demiurge and the rest of the outer gods representing the Archeans. Archeans. Sorry if I can't pronounce anything. Each of them are associated with material concept that they gave birth to and rule over. Each are associated with the celestial objects of our solar system. It just ties in really nicely with Hieda's dialogue about the one great fracturing. I agree with you, Baka. For sure, for sure. Okay, so as you guys can see, these little pockets right here on the outside of the arena are sky burial divots. And they even go up into the walls, very similar to Farum Azula. And it makes sense that, obviously there's a lot of dead bodies here, but it makes sense that Bayle's body was here. I know that a lot of Soulsborne bosses and Soulsborne entities are kind of plagued with like undead, or plagued with like undying, like they're unable to die because of whatever means, but it's cool to see this dragon that is like missing arms and legs and lost this battle against, I guess, like him and Placidusax kind of you know, their shits were both fucked, and it seems like he's kind of laying himself to rest in a way, but he doesn't plan on dying because he's Bayle. He's fucking Bayle, but it's really interesting that he's here. Yeah, they definitely remind me of coral structures too. I think it's the way that the divots kind of flare out. But let's go to... I thought it was ruined Colosseum seating. That would be sick. But yeah, these wolves that you see all over Farum are remnants of a sky burial. These were all mummified critters from the sky burial practice. But yeah. I think that that's what those divots in the armor represent. I think that you definitely clocked that. Good job. Good job, good job. Okay, wait, hold on. Let's go back to theories. Thursday submissions. Came here to die because he was too powerful. Brutal. Yeah, yeah, came here to die, but he was too powerful. Brutal. Or like left there, kept there. But yeah, it definitely seems like there's some connection with the Tower of Silence and that belief system. Sky burials, that it's such an ancient civilization. It's like it's Neolithic, I want to say. Wait, hold on, let me double check. Tower of Silence, were you Neolithic? It was 5th century BCE. Where is it? I love this song. Okay, this also I feel like ties in with the fact that I think that Placidusax's god was also the Fell God, and that there was a relationship with Sun and Placidusax's era, but it says that earth, water, and fire, to precede the pollution of the sacred elements, The bodies of the dead are placed at the top of the towers, and they are exposed to the sun and scavenging birds. And like various scavenging animals. Thus, putrefaction with all of its, I don't even know this word. New word. It's a new word time for me. Naturally accompanied with or associated. Concomitant? Wow. We're learning new things every day. New word. Concomitant. I mean, they're both there. It is their battleground, but their battleground is a sky burial, sky burial mausoleum, necropolis. New word. Okay, with all the new info that's been introduced... Oh wait, Bayle's arena seems to be the base of Farum Azula. Like, Bayle was climbing up to challenge Placidus X and he met him on the ground floor and dueled. Yeah, exactly. It means the process of happening at the same time as something else. I know concurrent. Concomitant. Is that the same as concurrent? We're learning new vocab. I love it. It's almost like Bayle's challenging someone to come kill him. Alright, okay, wait. With all the new info that's been introduced into the DLC, I'm not fully convinced anymore that there is a lineage of a singular monotheistic gods that precede Marika. I think that it was a common and accepted hypothesis before the DLC launched. There definitely was some omnipotently powerful godlike figures who wielded the Elden Ring like dragons and the god of Farum Azula, but the new lore seems to be making divinity a lot more complex than just a neat straight line of Marika-esque gods who all directly serve the greater will. All these new details about tutelary deities, Hornsent culture, the Crucible, and the Empyreans, which the Grandam was described as being before the patch retcon. Although I think she's still described as being the Empyrean Grandam in one of the incantations, I believe. Makes me wonder if achieving divinity and godhood used to be more of a common thing in the original Lands Between, before the separation and the suppression. I think before the Fingers and Marika, who were on the fringes of society before she somehow gained access and trust among the Tower folk, there was a much different way to achieve worship divinity. The Gate divinity, to me at least, does not seem to be likely the creation of Marika or the Fingers. I think the Gate is very much the product of the Hornsent. I'm currently wondering if the ascetics who achieved success in their pursuit of self-discipline and reaching divinity, unlike those who fell and became curse blades, possibly used the Gate to become tutelary deities. And some of those deities become the local protectors and idols of all the various settlements and towns that are in the realm of shadow, hence why we find their corpses all strewn about everywhere in the different shrine locations where we collect the revered spirit ashes from their palms. Maybe it's also possible that another lore figure, like Telu, could have used the Gate or some other means to achieve divinity and become the patron deity of his golem smithingkin. I don't know, some crackpot theories I'm drumming up in my head. Also, connected side note about the deity bodies, Tarnished Archaeologist talks in one of his Marika videos about the concept of iconoclasm and the intentional defacement of important religious figures and symbols. I wonder if the reason why the deities' corpses we find in the open world are headless are because of Mesmer's forces vandalizing them to erase Hornsent culture and help establish the Erdtree worship in the realm of shadow. I agree. I agree with that. I agree with all this. This is true. I do think that this is like very much the case in the sense that like we know that there were the shaman, we know that the Glowmide Queen existed before, but whether or not like the Glowmide Queen was related to Queen Marika is up for debate. I don't think that there was like a god beforehand in that way, but I think that the Elden Ring existed and has like changed hands. And I think the Elden Ring is just supposed to be like, it's spirituality. It's like governing spirituality, and it changes hands very similar to like the real world. And I think that's where the real world references come into play. So say, for example, the domineering religion is sky burials, right? The domineering religion has to do with Placidus X's era. It's going to look that way, and then when that kind of like falls out of favor within society and like maybe pagan groups pick up the Elden Ring, society looks different. I think it's just like depending on whose hands the Elden Ring is in, it kind of just changes the governing state of reality and the way that we interface with it. But it seems like by suppressing, like, so say you get the Elden Ring, and if you try to suppress things, suppressing things in the game seems to be like, that's where problems arise, if that makes sense. Like, all of these things exist. Death, fire, earth, wind, lightning, all these things exist. You can try to like make sense of them how you want, but if you try to suppress them, that's where things like curses, or like socially perceived curses pop up. It's suppression. Does that make sense? But also, let me get water really quick. I'm sorry. It's almost like real life. Yeah. Do you think they use sky barrels because their god was literally a flying thing? If you said that already, I'm sorry. I had an ADHD moment. No, it's okay. I don't know if their god was a flying thing. I do think that the fell god and like the original god, the OG god, was like this was the sun. Because a lot of early societies, especially like Neolithic societies, early human societies, worshipped the sun and worshipped death quite a bit. I'm like full in on on sun god. Yes, if you try to suppress death, you get real fucked up mutated death. Yes, and if you try to suppress the horn scent, you get people still born with horns. You can't suppress nature. You just can't. You can't. Coop Cam win. He moves around too much, I feel like. But yeah, okay. We only have a couple more, and then we'll move on to Twitter. Not sure if this is something that's been pointed out before, but since I've been obsessed with IRL cosmology, stylistic influences in Elden Ring, one parallel I wanted to draw between the greater will and frenzied flame god dualism, as well as the order-disorder business, is that of gravity and dark energy. Sorry. Whew. The Hornson didn't worship the sun, did they? So, and then we'll move on to Twitter. Oh no, Twitter's actually been okay, Waves. Twitter's actually been okay. Okay, let's do this. I'll talk about the horn scent and the sun worship. So like, that is already just like really complicated because I don't think that people realize that not all gods are historically viewed as good guys, and that some people worship gods that hurt them, or that are scary, or that like they'll fear, there are some people that fear their god. Does that make sense? And it seems like with horn scent culture in particular, there was this like degree of internal like punishment and asceticism. Yeah, we're not talking about the Elden gods. We're not talking about the demigods. We're talking about the Fell god, which is not an Elden god, that is an outer god. Looks over at Old Testament. Yeah. Okay, anyway, let's keep going. At cosmological scales, it's almost like the two forces are fighting each other to determine who will win. Dark energy is basically what physicists have named the yet unknown mechanism that causes the expansion of the universe to accelerate. Basically, it's whatever is responsible for pushing the universe towards its eventual heat death. It is the exemplification of disorder and is often presented as such in pop science. Gravity, on the other hand, is exclusively the attractive force that prefers to clump things together, leading to the formation of stars and planets, hence symbolizing order amongst the chaos that is the universe. Now, some time ago, before the cosmological observations about the expansion rate of the universe, one of the open questions about the fate of the universe was whether or not everything would keep expanding into an infinitely dilute soup of almost nothing, or collapse back in on itself into another singularity, which people call the Big Crunch. This is often depicted as a power struggle between gravity and dark energy, with the victor determining the final state of the universe. If dark energy wins, we get a perpetually expanding universe. If gravity wins, we get a big crunch. All of this depends on the density of matter in the universe, and another parameter called the cosmological constant. For nerds, look up Friedman. This to me parallels the conflict between the greater will, whose goal is to enforce order upon the universe, and the frenzied flame god who wishes to end everything by burning it all into nothingness. It's almost as if these are two personifications of dark energy and gravity. There's also a secret third ending where gravity and dark energy perfect balance each other, leading to a static universe where the Big Bang never happened. And trying to achieve this was actually one of Einstein's biggest blunders, which led him to actually rather geniusly propose a modification to his own theory, which we now know is in fact accurate. But we don't get the static universe out of it. That's fucking fascinating. I definitely want to read about this. But yeah, this is like fully I do think that the expansion of the universe and light are a huge portion of Elden Ring's cosmological storytelling, and I do think that order being symbolized by light and how light travels is huge. I also think too, a lot of people pointed out that Meteor has like a pulsar animation. There's so much really good cosmology in Elden Ring. This emission fucks. Thank you, Among Us. This is really good. This is really good. I recently heard that the Big Bang was actually supposed to be a critique. Alright, okay, so let's move on to Twitter. Hold on one sec. Let me get everything set up. Ooh, we got a lot of really good submissions. Hold on. we also got a lot of tea happening, but I won't show you guys that. Everything goes crazy. On twitter.com. Okay. It's not overwhelming today though. Okay. Somebody this is a question. I'm gonna throw this out to chat actually. Do y'all think that Rolana's twin moons annihilated Moor? Or Morth? Moor? That place in the Shadowlands? What do y'all think? Okay, wait, the whole Einstein thing was about introducing the cosmological constant into his equations, which we now know to be a stand-in for dark energy. Oh shit. No static universe is different. It just never expands, so it's at a large scale, we wouldn't get anything changing. Plausible. Used to be 2 moons. I think there's evidence that she went around crunching people with the moons. War criminal Rolana, I support it. Yeah. I think because why more of all places? Because it was like a horn-sent Belurat civilization. I definitely think she was going around and crunching people. She was like the ultimate pick-me girl. And we stand it. Oh, because the talisman says that the moon fell here. Her twin moons will never not sound like an innuendo. No, fully. fully. Any thoughts on Rena is the Gek? I think, given the fact that Rena... So, mythologically, in real life, sorry, Cooper's gonna bark. The Snowy Crone is... So there is an entity in real life called the Snowy Crone. Also Frau Hole and Hel. She's one of those figures that has a lot of mythological counterparts across different cultures. She's like a woman who is older and associated with winter and frost and ice and wolves and crows, and she also, I think Elsa from Frozen is based off of her. So I think there's this being, or this person in Elden Ring who taught Ronnie everything that she knows, and she's referred to as the Snowy Crone, and the doll is based off of her aesthetically. Obviously like a younger, more idealized version of her. Frau Hole and a lot of these like ancient Snowy Crone witches are often associated with death. So I don't think it's a stretch to be like, oh yeah, the Glowmite Queen could have been the Snowy Crone, but we'll never get an answer. And so I don't know if it really matters. The wise old teacher of witchy things. Yeah, the witch of the the origin of cold bitch. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, so wait. So happy to hear your voice again, Quaylog. I barely survived a layoff. I've been busy with work changes. Holy shit, Chai, I'm so sorry. So sorry. I hope that everybody on your team is okay and that you're taking care of yourself. For a second I thought you were going to say that she was inspired by Elsa, and I'm shook. No, Elsa was inspired by Frau Hole. Is Ronnie actually being ratatouilleed by the Snowy Crone? Maybe, I don't know. Okay, so let's keep looking at these theories real quick. Okay. Sorry, I was just double checking everything. Let's change. Also, I'm going to get rid of the brain rot, because that's a thing that's on this website. I don't like... I wish you could hide the what's happening thing natively. But yeah, okay. The Black Knights, or the Knights Cavalry, when you kill their steed, the knight will summon back the steed from the grave. However, it spawns very liquidy, almost as if it emerged from the deep or putrescence. Oh shit! I might have to go find some... Knights Cavalry to lurk around. That would be sick, to be honest, especially because the putrescent knight was buried with a horse. It'd be kind of cool if there was this like common thread between the dead and like horse summoning. I don't know. It's really goofy, but I kind of love this and I want to check it out. Piggybacking off of Tarnished Archaeologist. Oh yeah, we deep dived this. Their question though was the coffins that lead to the putrescent knights and St. Trina's are arcs. What's the deal and the connection to Noah and the random animals right by the putrescent arena? So we talked about that a little bit. Take a look at how the shape of this talisman is eerily similar to a certain infamous symbol in real life. Not much of a theory, but I like the social commentary. A talisman depicting a spear on the with a backdrop of flames. Here's its attack power, the warriors who fought in the crusade. Yeah. I mean... yeah. It's like pretty vague. But maybe. Yeah, I know that there's uBlock Origins and there's a ton of add-ons that you can do to like fix Twitter for you, but I don't care enough about this website to like be bothered to do it. And like most of the time that I'm on it, I'm using mobile. So like, I don't even, do you know what I mean? There's a connection between Poseidon, I'm pretty sure, formerly being the chthonic god and also being a horse god. Yeah, there's the Kelpies too, and isn't there... shit, when people were talking about the Putrescent Knight, they were talking about a Celtic god. Does somebody remember? I always forget his name. He like rides around on a horse, and he's kind of aquatic. What's his name? What's his name? Anybody know what I'm talking about? People in my community were like bludgeoning me over the head with this mythology reference. Yeah, the Scottish Plague Sea Demon. I don't know if it was Scottish. I think it maybe was, oh, I remember us talking about it. Yeah. Nuclavy. Yeah. Nuclavy. Yeah. Is the entity that I think is Null Cleave. Yeah, it's weird. Like, there's certain things. So, like, with this post, there's certain things where I'm like, yeah, I mean, if you artistic interpretation is a difficult thing to parse. I personally don't know if this is representative of that. I actually think it represents the union that we've seen before with the fire and like the braided circular motif, which I think is like Marika's crusade. I don't think this era of history is portraying that era of European history. It's definitely portraying the Gallic crusades. But also, if you feel that way, and you kind of see some similarities culturally, like I don't want to tell people that like their interpretations don't exist. I'm in a weird spot. I'm in a weird spot on the internet. You know what I mean? It's not a perfect match to the Nuclavy since the man is fused to the horse, but most tellings... Oh wait, in most tellings, but it's evocative. Yes. Okay. I'll throw my hat in the ring since I have some interesting ideas. Sorry if it's a bit of a word salad. I have a hypothesis, or perhaps several, not a theory, but I would still like to hear your input on it. So the divine beast, dancing lion, in the fight looks like the corpses are possessed by some higher power of some sort. Perhaps the divine beast, probably. One could say the sculpted keepers acted as a vessel for the beast. The mother of fingers at some point stopped hearing from the greater will. She was abandoned because she was broken, maybe by the Nox, but maybe not. It's not relevant for now. So, the divine gate. Why the divine gate? Well, the horn scent like the crucible, and they like the heavens. I don't know if this is a localization thing, but they certainly do seem to be trying to ascend in an upward direction. You know what is up? Space. Of course. Or sorry. Of which we have not a significant indication of the greater will having connections to. But why do they want to ascend? What is up the spiral? The crucible? Well, the mother of fingers seems to have a spiraling tail, so I think that the divine gate was a method of perhaps making contact with the greater will in some way. Maybe the golden star was the crucible, and the Elden Beast was channeled through the divine gate, and Marika became the vessel. Maybe the Empyrean is really just an even higher form of the latter compared to a sculpted keeper. Maybe the Elden Beast is just like a lion dancer, and the Horned Warriors is just another form of divine invocation, harboring the beast within, except it is only Empyreans that are vessels good enough to be able to hold such powerful beasts. Maybe the Gate of Divinity was some sort of thing to call the Elden Beast, either literally like the shooting star, or alternatively just to invoke or call it. Was the Elden Beast the star itself, or was the Crucible the star the Elden Beast rode in on, or are those things the same and the Elden Beast is a physical manifestation of something that's not normally alive in that way? I don't know, this was more of a flow of thought than concrete points, and I just feel like I'm starting to repeat myself a bit. So now I just think I'm going to end it here. What do you think? Also, I ask that you take all of these individual things as opposed to one grand suggestion of a course of events. Of course, yeah, you're just like spitballing. This is spitball in the post. I definitely think, so we talked about like the Crucible on my last video, and I do think that the Crucible is this light that influences life and the way that life develops, and it seems to be kind of like initially I thought it was like a life form, like the crucible of all life, like the missing link or something, but it kind of seems like it's a location in Elden Ring, or like the Holy Grail in some sense. It's like a holy artifact, or like a holy, I don't know, it's like a it's a bigger thing that allows life to have the traits that it has. So like wings and horns, and it's like genetic building blocks and weird fantastical radiation almost, because of its association with like light and some of the weird stuff regarding the Fell God and the sun and horns. I do think that the Crucible, the Divine Gate needing to be built in proximity of like the raw ruins or the Crucible is a huge deal. I think that that's like very important to the world building of this story, but as far as like what we actually got, I don't know. I think that there's a lot to be desired in terms of explanations for maybe the questions that you have, or the conclusions that you've come to. And I think that maybe I don't know, I get this feeling, there's a part of me that's like, okay, was this, are the elements that weren't explained intentionally not explained because they're not important, or left vague because we're supposed to interpret, or left vague because of development costs? And I would say that in most art, especially in movies, I would say that a lot of it tends to lean more towards the director or the writer wanting you to come to your own natural conclusions on your own. But with game development, it's a lot more complicated and there are a lot more hurdles. And I would say that based off of cut content divers, especially if we look at games like Bloodborne and we look at some other FromSoft games, there are some pretty big plot points that have been let go in the past. And so I do think that this is where we have to kind of depend on like our cut content miners to be able to suss out maybe what was intended versus what actually made it in the final cut. But at the same time, it doesn't, I don't know. I don't know if they, because there are times when they'll leave the story to be interpreted visually for it to have that mythological feel. But there are also moments in the game, and I will say Bloodborne as an example of this, where they intended for certain things to be more fleshed out, but then they didn't, and it got left on the cutting room floor. And they just had to be okay with shipping it the way that it was. There's a lot to be said about the way that game development works and the way that things ship. Whether characters, you know, are squeezed in last minute, or their plot lines are like totally reworked. And there's times where I feel like FromSoft really has it together, and like their story is very easy to follow. I do feel it in my heart of hearts that there have been some things that have been like, for example, I don't think that there, you know, there's nothing in the game files that shows the Glowmide Queen was like a character that existed or walked around or talked to people. She doesn't have an animation rig in the game files. She doesn't have any kind of sense of presence in the world. She's like a figment of the past. That is very interpretive, and that is like intentionally obtuse or vague, versus Kale's questline being cut and the implications that Kale's questline has and how that was left on the cutting room floor. There are obviously very different, you know, it just it changes the nature of the game in a lot of ways, and I think it's just hard to parse. It's difficult to parse. I do feel confident about Marika having invoked the Elden Beast, just like the Sculpted Keepers do with the Divine Beast. It's 100% the same divine invocation in my mind, for sure. I can see that. Kale's questline being cut is legitimately upsetting. I feel the same way, even. I feel the same way. Cooper, what are you doing? Oh wait, I think Cooper may have gotten stuck in another room. Hold on. Oh, I'm gonna knock my whole stream stuff. Okay, we're back. People talking about localization as mistranslation. I don't know if you have enough knowledge on Japanese to even make that judgment. I trust that the translation team knows what they're doing. I've talked with Loki in depth about this quite a bit, and I do agree with Loki that there are a lot of things that are left, and first off, let's take a step back. I do think that the localization team, and I'm talking about localization in terms of translating, are doing their best, because even for us as like lore theory people, the way that item descriptions refer to people and things and events, it's already so obtuse and so vague that not only having to parse the vagueness of the writing, but also the fact that Japanese as a language doesn't differentiate between plural and singular or gendered pronouns. In some circumstances, you have to explicitly state somebody's gender in conversation, which is like very not normal. And like when you refer to items, you have to like list them out in particular ways, because there's not like plural and singular versions of things. Like there's not, it's like if I were to say like Gohan, like if I were to say rice, like there has to be some context to refer to, like, am I talking about like a singular grain of rice, or am I talking about like rice, like as a cluster? I don't think that when people are criticizing localization errors, that they're trying to say that the localization team is not taking on just like an insurmountable amount of work. I don't think so. When Loki, for example, says like the translation team can do better, I don't think that Loki is trying to like diminish how fucking difficult it is for localization teams, especially FromSoft localization teams. But another barrier that Loki has brought up to me is that Miyazaki sometimes writes with really old and very like archaic kanji. Like there's sometimes this usage of kanji in his games that is just like not easy to parse. It's just not. So it is what it is. But I will say that like because these games are so intricate, if you do fuck up a localization, it can really fuck up the player's ability to understand what the fuck is happening in the story. I don't think all translators have time to spend endless hours combing over the meaning of lore. Even so, when FromSoft keeps things very vague, it can make it really hard to translate well. Yeah. So I don't think that a lot of the translation errors or localization issues are like, I'm not going to talk shit about localization teams, period, because they have their work cut out for them. But I will say that like the language is difficult to parse. It's difficult to parse. Sorry, Waves also is another person whose opinions I trust and value because they're also in the industry. Also, if you were to one-to-one translate Japanese to English, it would be extremely dry and straight up sound like an early LLM. It is an awesome language, but also very direct and would not be entertaining for an English-speaking audience. Yeah. When native Japanese speakers are getting their ankles broke by Miyazaki's kanji, you know that the stuff is difficult to parse. It's true! Wait, are FromSoft games made for English first or for Japanese first? So they're written originally in Japanese, and then the dialogue lines are recorded and written then in English by the studio that they work with that's located in I want to say somewhere in England? Somewhere, or like in the UK somewhere? I forget which studio they use, but they've used that studio since Demon's Souls. Which is why a lot of the same voice actors make reappearances, is because they use the same voice cast. But that being said, ooh yeah, sorry, my ear itches because I think I have like a weird sensitivity to silicone earbuds. They make my ears itch. Okay, anyway, but I will say though that Elden Ring is a unique and specific example because George R.R. Martin wrote this game in English, presumably first. So this is the first game in FromSoft history that has been written in English first. But then after the lore was written in English, then Miyazaki wrote his portion of the story, which was kind of like the aftermath of everything that happened. So Miyazaki wrote the first 5,000 years of time that built up to it. So this was in English, then there was in Japanese, and then Miyazaki wrote the dialogue, or like presumably had a translator work with him to write the dialogue. Dialogue is written natively in English, sent to the voice acting team that's in the UK or in England. And so you're getting Japanese to English to like you're getting a bunch of different localization teams all playing volleyball with this story. So it makes sense that it's like as like insane as it is. But I do think that the center, like the thesis of the story still shines through, which is just ambition can be bad. Repression can be bad. Death is a natural part of life. Suffering at the hands of your oppressors can sometimes cause you to become a tyrant who doles out suffering, It's the cycle of suffering, babes. And they did a pretty good job. They did a pretty good job considering everything. Wow, with all that back and forth, it makes sense that it makes as much sense as it does, yes. Sunny Celestial says, to be honest, I'd be surprised if anything directly written by George R.R. Martin made it into the game itself. Actually, contrary to what you might think, a lot of George R.R. Martin's writing and his characters made it into the game. And there was an interview with Miyazaki where he said, you might not, like, he was talking to George R.R. Martin, and was kind of referring to him and was like, I am curious to see like how George R. R. Martin sees these characters, and he might not recognize them. And I think that that might be due to the fact that maybe George R. R. Martin, sorry, hold on, let me change the song. George R. R. Martin maybe portrayed, say for example, George R. R. Martin wrote Moog, and Moog is just like, you know, some guy, he's some old guy. But then Miyazaki designed Moog to look like a big horned demon. You know, maybe that's what he means by like you won't recognize them. Maybe there was like a visual distinction between the way that George R. R. Martin represented his characters and Miyazaki represented. So I'm super curious to see if George R. R. Martin ever releases the original lore or like the original myth that Elden Ring is based off of. I would love to see it. I would love to see it. I want to see it. Let me see it. Let me see it. I meant the literal text though. I think that there is likely, because okay, so Sunny Celestial, we're talking about the transition of text between groups. There is a story that is written in English given to a Japanese team, and then the Japanese team is adding their portion to it, like they're iterating off of characters' ideas and concepts. And then it is being sent out to an English voice acting team. Everything is written in English. And then it's all retranslated into Japanese for the captions. We're just trying to keep track of like the tiers of everything. I want to wait, anyone want to bet that the 2 or 3 fingers were just secret society people who made weird hand signs at the real life church schism, or a precursor to people who only had 2 to 3 fingers on each hand, but otherwise normal people? Photo 100%, because you know the character like Littlefinger in Game of Thrones? I think it was supposed to be like that, maybe. Like the fingers typically are people who operate within the church and within the law, and are effectively acting like parts of a hand to move people around. I kind of wonder, you know, if these, sorry, I'm like parsing the music. Oh my god, the voice acting team having to interpret the lines too. Yeah, I know that Miyazaki was present for some of the lines. Didn't Ingon's voice actor say that... wasn't he present for some of the voice acting? Biblically accurate Littlefinger. 100%, 100%. The fire giant is just a slightly larger than average guy, yeah. Miyazaki attends every voice acting session, I believe. That's fucking sick. Miyazaki often attends the voice recording sessions and gives very pointed suggestions to the actors. That's fucking sick. Ingon's voice actor was intimidated by Miyazaki's aura. Yeah, like the Rosaria's fingers and Godric thing. Yeah, fully. I get what you mean. Moral of the story, translate your lore enough times until it loses its context to become esoteric and cool. Absolutely, almost. I mean, that's what Miyazaki said. Hold on, wait, let me find that interview. Okay, so this was from The Gamer. I want to say this was from another interview, though, that Game Informer originally did. But there was a interview with him. Miyazaki spent much of his childhood in libraries, reading and absorbing literature, some of it in English, like a sponge soaking up water. Just as a sponge is ignorant of water's composition, so did Miyazaki read many passages he simply could not understand because of the language barrier. As a result, he would fill in the parts he didn't understand with his own imagination. This unique, unconventional approach to reading influenced the way that the plot develops in his games. Players are often encouraged to figure out the plot for themselves, with the stories leaving room for interpretation. I don't, that isn't to say I don't think that, like, he's intentionally making things sloppy, but I think that there is an esoteric element to his storytelling, for sure. How long have we been live? 2 hours? Been live 2 hours. It reminds me of Tunic's manual, kind of. Yeah, yeah. George R. R. Martin, how the fuck do you mean they killed God when he was supposed to be the main character? Oh no. Elden Ring wouldn't be what it is without a heck of a lot of translation goofiness all around, and that's neat. Yeah. I think there are parts of it that I think make the lore better. So somebody in the YouTube chat, almost 333, says, I believe it does make the lore better. It distills the meaning down. Religion gets strong abstract meaning in a similar way. I do think that there are instances in which it's actually like really fucked up gaming interpretation. Like the game's narrative interpretation, specifically Bloodborne, with the cost parasite mistranslation. That one is egregious to the point where I think that the whole game loses its meaning if you don't consider how that was incorrectly translated. Because the whole game is supposed to be or at least the DLC, not the whole game, because the whole game references a bunch of different horror, gothic horror, and weird fiction, but the climax and kind of like the main center conflict of the entire game series is the fishing hamlet. And the fishing hamlet is supposed to be a retelling of The Shadow over Innsmouth from H.P. Lovecraft. And if you interpret the cost parasite the way that the English version of the game... Here, let me pull it up. I think I actually have a really good conversation with Loki on that one. Archived somewhere. Oh shit. Okay, also I'm getting really tired and I have really bad cotton mouth right now. I might take a break and make some tea and do some stretches. And then maybe play some Sekiro or something. Okay, sorry. What was I looking for? Parasite. Or was it the Lumen? What was it? Hold on. We talked about it a long time ago. Okay, wait, hold on. Let's just do this. Cross parasite. Okay, so when the carcass of Kos washed up on the coast, its insides were teeming with tiny parasites, unlike found in humans. So there was this sorry, hold on, let me also change this. There was this theory that Kos died naturally, and that Kos's corpse washed up in the fishing hamlet naturally. Okay, but what if Fields of Mystria? Or, I mean, do you want me to do Fields of Mystria? Y'all really like that when I stream it. It's funny. But yeah, there are some people that think that the see a danger? There were some people that were seeing the Kos parasite translation as though Kos died naturally and that her body washed up on the shore. But there's a lot of information and like there's like contextual information, but then also all of the dialogue that the fishing hamlet priest has, where he says Bergenworth, blood crazed fiends, or fucking whatever. What does he say? Hold on. What's his name? Give me the NPC that is he a shaman? What is he? Forgotten Madman. What is that NPC called that I'm talking about, y'all? Fishing Hamlet? Hamlet Fishman? Where is he? There's that fishman. Do y'all remember? Yeah, I always interpreted it as the fishing hamlet venerated the washed-up body while the church poked and dissected it. But the thing is... Okay, wait, hold on. The thing is... If I could find that NPC's dialogue... I can't even spell Bergenworth. Bergenworth. Okay, here we go. Fishing Hamlet priest. He was a priest. Bergenworth, blasphemous murderers, blood-crazed fiends. Atonement for the wretches. By the wrath of Mother Kos, mercy of the poor, or mercy for the poor wizen child, mercy please. Lay the curse of blood upon them, their children and their children's children forevermore. The wretched birth will plunge each child into a lifetime of misery. Mercy for the poor wizen child. Let the pungence of Kos cling like a mother's devotion. So it's pretty clear that... Here, I'm posting this in the chat. Like, this man calls the Bergenworth scholars murderers. And, like, says mercy for the child, which is, like, orphan Kos. Kos, who is an orphan. He has been orphaned. So, like, if he's saying that they're murderers, and he's saying that a child has been orphaned because of a murder, and he's saying Bergenworth, who did the murder, do you think? Who did it? Who did the murder? From what I believe, Kos did wash up. Great ones seem to be carnations of knowledge. But the thing is that Kos didn't wash up in the translation. In the original item thing, it's different. Who did it? Who done it? Okay. Let's find... Somebody have the Japanese translation for it? Ooh, I'm gonna pass out. I feel so tired. Not the Borgen worms. Important lore question, why is Darston so perfect? I watched the VOD. It makes a lot more sense to me than Kos washing up dead. Kos washed up dead, but likely washed up dead because she was murdered. She was killed. That's why people are lamenting her child. Her stillborn child. Wasn't it more like dragged ashore? No way Maria threw her weapon down a well just for a beached alien. Yeah, no fucking way. No way. She threw her weapon down the well because she didn't want to be associated with like the carnage that Bergenworth did. She was like, damn, we're really no better than Canehurst, huh? Canehurst, the family that I ran away from. The scholars are just as bloodthirsty and like shitty. More like Kane worst. I thought she was caught with a fishing hook. Gehrman, how could you? But yeah, when I did my Bloodborne, like playthrough, that was one of the, or when I did my Bloodborne video, that was one of the big points of contention. And I feel like in the Bloodborne video that I will put out someday, I need to really lay out the translation differences between the English version and like the Japanese version. Machine translation gives abandoned by the shore. Sunny Celestial, can you post the is it hiragana or is it kanji? Can you post it in the chat? Oh, yeah. So looking forward to that someday. Okay, also, I just want to make a point to say, given, for those of you that were following the stuff that was happening on socials, I kind of noticed that it's like radio silent everywhere else. And it definitely makes me think that this is all just like bots. Because it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, I've had friends, like, I've fully been a part of 4chan and like Reddit for fucking ever. And I've had friends who, like, when they get harassed, it's like, holy, your family members get involved, people get doxxed, phone numbers are flying around, your mom gets called, shit just goes crazy. People are like DMing your like Instagram account, people are, you know, finding you on other platforms and like harassing you. Nothing. Nothing. Dead silent. Dead silent. We haven't even gotten people in the chat today. We haven't even gotten like people. You gotta play something on those drums. I know, I should, right? I should hop on the drums right now. But they're not powerful though, almost 33 or 333. That's what's weird. That's what's weird. Like, I'm kind of like what? Do you know what I mean? What I am saying is that like things were way worse. Girl, I live in Brazil. We're out of Twitter. I'm glad there's no, yeah. Okay, I threw it through machine translate and it's really funny because it says the corpses of the Goths. The superior who were abandoned on the beach, infested with large numbers of them, were tiny parasites, which do not dwell in humans, but were clutched and beaten. Although they cannot be called weapons, these insects are said to stimulate the spirits of the nursery. Okay, so it's pretty much saying the corpse that was abandoned on the shore. So not washed up, but abandoned. So like somebody hunted down a whale, killed it, and like abandoned the corpse on the shore. No, leave the Goths alone, not the outer Goths. Yeah, it's the outer Goths, y'all. Look at the names online. I'm seeing a lot of word, 3 to 4 numbers. Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. It's crazy. What happened? I'm so offline. If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. No, like, it's not even worth talking about. I just got, like, there's a person who harasses people in the video game industry. And, it just kind of seems like there's a bunch of people on Twitter that have blue check marks, and they're all farming engagement from each other. And so they'll like do something outrageous and then they'll all tweet at each other and like be in like a echo chamber to like make money. It's crazy. It's crazy as shit to see. Okay, wait, outer goth is now an official term in my vocabulary. I think bots do social influence discords a lot. A loser with a bot farm trying to be mean is pretty pathetic though. Yeah. But like, it doesn't do anything to like the person. Because like I said, I grew up in a different internet. I grew up on a different, I didn't like the old days in the sense that like, it's just like not really, nothing happens. People just say stuff at you, but like nothing happens. Which is like, fine. But it's definitely way different than how it used to be, is all I'm saying. Thank you for the subscription. I'm kind of glad a certain content creator got ousted for their heinous beliefs a few months ago. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Oh wait, Atlas, what'd she say? The realm of ash where the shadows souls bear. What? Can someone repost that? Cause my shit is fucked. Just these groups of bots engaging with each other. They post the same pictures over and over, rarely comment outside of the bot group. It's so weird. It's very weird. Yeah, my understanding is that the most nefarious use of bots is to influence public opinion or something, but that's not what this is. I mean, I think it's an attempt of that, Dylan. Yeah, back in my day, you got death threats online and in person. Yes, Flapple Pie, that's what I'm saying. Back in my day, you got death threats online, your mom was involved, your grandma was involved, people were calling your uncle that you haven't spoken to in like 20 years, people were calling their house. You know, it also helps that Google is useless now, so it's harder to dox people for sure. But even then, like I'm not a difficult person to dox because like I'm credited in things. I can't once you make a piece of art, you really can't escape your own identity. But that being said, like it doesn't matter. I've been harassed by someone for years before. They would say really detailed things, but nothing ever happened. People like to yell online. Yeah, they do. Okay, wait, Cost, we beckon dear Cost, no more. Y'all remember the Craigslist killer? No. But I don't think it's, Mercer, I don't think it's bullies. It's bots, yeah, bots engaging with bots to boost visibility to non-bots. But I think that they're just engagement farming so that way they can make money. They post rage bait and then they just get their bag. Which is like, that's fine. But yeah, it just like, it doesn't hit the way that it used to. Because like, back in ye old days, people were actually like pointed and targeted with the stuff that they were like insulting you with. But now the insults are like so not, it's like, I can't even comprehend what's being said half the time because it's like canned responses that they've said to like 500 other content creators. They're just reposting it over and over and over again. Like nothing makes sense. Bald cringe walk. Yeah, it's like it's been as long as Elon Musk doesn't reply to the thread with concerning. Did you see the net worth of Twitter is now 1/4 what Musk paid? That's crazy. That's crazy. It's not critics anymore, it's just insults. But it's not even insults anymore, it's just fragmented English. Yeah, 100%. Sir Terrible in the chat said, hey, nice face, loser. Where'd you get those hands? The hand store? Hot loser. That's how it feels. That's how it feels. That's how it feels. We used to have a bespoke harassment, but now that's even messed up and mass-produced these days. Yeah, exactly. I miss the days of bespoke harassment. Online insults these days are like people screaming angry Yelp reviews at you. Hey Cooper, do you want a treat? Do you want a fish treat? My life goal is to piss off Elon Musk so much that he threatens to impregnate. Oh my god. Okay, wait, Coop is bespoke barking. He is. Let me go get the man. Want to bring me? I'm alive. I'm alive, sorry. I'm so... I didn't make tea! I didn't make tea for myself. Okay, wait, everybody, can you guys give me... I think we're kind of winding down on Lore Theory Thursday. Thank you guys so much for joining. I will probably play a video game with y'all right now. We can play some games. I do think I want to make tea, because I'm deteriorating live on TV right now. Oh my god, Quaylog, I watched The Substance last night because of you, and it might be my new favorite movie of all time. Yes, let's go! It's so good, it's so good. If you like body horror and like Cronenberg stuff, please go watch it. It's a hoot. It's a hoot. Go make tea, girl. A lot of the time, it's not even about the channel, it's probing keywords, checking for content filters, probing for names by spamming names until somebody gets blocked, using the process of elimination to dox people. I think that some bots are also just getting fooled and looped into arguments with other bots and breaking. Absolutely, Iron Man, that's like the... So one of the things I've been noticing is, 100%. Sorry. Somebody tried to insult me in Spanish. So, somebody, like, I was like, huh, I made that post where I said some shit. I made that post. And then a bot responded to me in Spanish that was saying, like, you'll never see the gates of heaven, or like, you're gonna go to hell. And then another, wait, no, it was like, you're gay or something like that, or it tried to insult me. But then like 3 or 4 other bots responded in Spanish, totally like not making sense, like incoherent. It's almost like, yeah, it's the bots are responding to the person they're trying to harass, but then more bots from Mexico or like South America, parts of South America, are like trying to... It's like they're all like fucking trying to talk to each other, and was just like they were all trying to talk to each other and they were just like weren't making sense. They just weren't making sense. Point blank period. It was crazy. The girls are fighting bots. Yeah. The robot wars are in full force. It's weird. It's weird. And then there was also another person that was like, I posted a picture of Grums's shitty ass game. What game? Waves, what is that game called? The one that looks like shit, like Fortnite Overwatch. What's that one game called that he was working on? I forgot. Was it Firefall? Anyway, I posted a picture of it, and one of Grums's like foot soldiers, like one of the bots, tried to like respond to me posting that image and was like insulting the game that I like, insulting Grums's game. Like they got confused and they were like trying to insult me, and they were like, this looks like dog shit. What is this? What is this dog shit? And like, but they were one of Grums's people. Like, oh fuck, it was really good. The whole thing was really good. I just want to say, friendly fire. Yeah, there's been a lot of friendly fire, and it's been really amusing to watch. Is all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. And like, Firefall was a picture of PAX for like a half of a decade, and I never once heard anything about it. Me too. They had a booth at PAX for like 4 years, and they wasted all their budget on a bus that they drove around to show their shitty job. I mean, we've been going to PAX forever. I literally did not hear about this until, like, Grums showed his ass and made it everybody's problem, you know? Not me, I'm a divine being. What is this? What is this music? Hold on, wait, I have no idea what music. Is it the store in SMT that's playing? Is it the boom? Yeah, it is. I feel like that's right on time. I love this song. This song fucks so hard. It makes me feel like I'm in a I love me this synth fart tuba song. I was gonna say it slaps. No, fully. Turn that shit up. This is the there's a store in Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne where the shopkeeper is like very, very, very gay. Like he's very flamboyant. He's like, "Hey girl," and like this song is bumping in the background. It's really good. It's like my favorite. You know that I'm not a bot because they can spell better than me. It's weird because bots can spell good, but they like can't. They're not talking to anybody. It's like it goes crazy. Okay, wait, hold on. Let me see if I can find the SMT. SMT merchant. And I know I need to go make tea, but I'm having a lot of fun laughing about this whole thing. Okay, wait. I don't know. I love this shopkeeper so much. Here, hold on. This man. I love this man. But yeah, whenever he pops up, this song just fucking goes. This song just fucking goes fucking hard. This song goes hard. This is his theme song. Nocturne is so good. Hey there, hot stuff. This song is my brain on low battery. I also love, sometimes in Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne you can like hit on people. The dialogue in that game is just... The dialogue in this game just fucks so hard. It's so fucking funny. Okay, wait, hold on. Oops. Shit, I fucked up. Okay, wait. This one... Oh wait, no, that's... Wait, does he say shit with that ass? He does say... He does talk about ass. This man is an ass man. Talking about Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. When you like try to seduce people to join your party if you're like playing as a female character, they'll be like, "Damn, baby, you're hot. You shit with that ass." Yeah. Like they'll be like really fucking. Yeah, it's great. They're gross. They're gross. It's great. It's very good. It's very good. Play Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, please. Always have female demons in your party. Always use the seduce option. It's like the fucking funniest thing. Hold on. Let me see if I can find more good dialogue. Because it's really good. Oh yeah. The incubus demon. Anyway, this game's really good. It's my favorite JRPG of all time. I love it. You shit with that ass is honestly inspired. Damn. Yeah. I would play it, but my shame stack of games is growing. Okay, I'm sorry, I need to go make tea. I'm gonna keep saying that. I want to just talk about Animal Crossing real quick, because I was talking with my partner this morning about how New Horizons, while we had a lot of fun with it and while there are good features of it, I miss the dialogue of the old games, and I miss being treated like shit. I miss the drama. I miss the drama. That's like the one thing that I think a lot of like Japanese game studios or game studios that are developing for children, they don't harass the kids anymore. They don't harass the children anymore, and we need to bring it back. We need to bring it back. I miss the hold on, let me find it. Some of it was offensive though. Some of it was like pretty offensive. But yeah, I miss... Whoa, you look so weird, and not in a hip way, more like in a weird as in makes me want to barf. But some people would like ask if you had like mental issues. There was definitely points in which they took it too far. But I do miss the drama. I do miss, like, we don't need to be ableist about it, but like fully, I do miss the drama. I do miss the, yeah, no one ever understands me. I'm hungry all the time and no one cares. I miss Rossetti and his brother emotionally manipulating me and playing good cop, bad cop. I miss the days. Damn bitch, you live like this? Yeah. Where is that? Where is that anymore in games? That's my thing I'm gonna die on. That's my hill I'm gonna die on. It's not offensive if it's absolutely throwing hands at everyone fully. Surely we can strike a new balance of drama. Yeah, stuff's too milquetoast, yeah, at least to me personally. Like, I haven't been on my island for a few weeks now, and I just logged on this morning and everyone was like, oh hey, how you doing? You were gone for like a year and a half? Slay. No, where are my animals that like call me a fucking bitch to my face? Where are those animals for being gone? Like, I kind of want to be emotionally manipulated by my creatures. I don't know. I miss it. I miss it. Okay, let me go make... Y'all should have burned my house down. Where's your spirit, your will? It's true. Throw hands with me, Animal Crossing villagers. I need to see it. I need to see it. I need a cartoon animal to call me a goofy-ass little motherfucker. Okay, we're making tea. Hold on, wait, let me put on a better song. Alright, babes. I'm back. We're gonna play some Sekiro, I think. Even though, damn, it got dark in here. I just looked at myself in the viewfinder. I need to turn down my ring light a little bit. I'm getting blasted. I'm getting exposed. Okay, we're back. We're so here. I love this song too. This is a Cathedral of Shadows Cursed. It's very good. It's very atmospheric. But we need to close this out. What are y'all doing this weekend though? Are y'all getting up to some Halloween stuff yet? Anybody have haunted houses or pumpkin patches planned? I feel like the first chunk of October is booked out with birthdays for me. But I'm definitely gonna get in on trying to get all my friends to go to a pumpkin patch together. Okay. Visiting siblings and finishing Lives of P. Hell yeah. Do Quaylog over... not the Hawk Talk girl. Cooper, do you want goldfish? Because I'm gonna eat some. I'm gonna eat some goldfish by myself. Okay. Pumpkin patches are so cute. We're probably gonna see the substance and maybe hit up a housewarming party. Hell yeah. Bro is focused. Nah, no spook yet. I just came back to Quaylog tormenting a small human baby. No! Okay, wait, what do we need to do now for the return ending? Should probably also... We might need to grind for money. No. I think I'm poor. I hate to say it, chat, but I think I'm really poor. We really need to get the Phoenix Lilac umbrella. Which is gonna be expensive. I think if you got to the girl to throw up, you're fine. Okay, cool. Yeah, we did get her. We did get her to Yarts, so. Yeah, you have to just like take all the rice from her. Mmm. I learned about the learned about the history of the kanji Genki and like how the symbols changed over time. But there's a portion of it that is supposed to resemble rice, and how rice is representative of vitality symbolically. And it was really cool because obviously homegirl gives us rice and she gets really sleepy and like tired afterwards. Oh, homie, your upgrade tree is tragic. I know. Rice definitely gives me vitality. And that, like, I was listening to this guy who breaks down kanji on Instagram, and he was talking about how, like, in English, like, if you say, like, Genki, like, if you're asking somebody, like, are you good? Like, how are you feeling? It's like asking, like, do you have vitality? Or, like, vitality. How long has Sculptor had Dragon Rot? I don't want to talk about it. Should I do a Dragon Rot restoration? Yo, bro, have you eaten rice today? Yeah, fully. Are you full of rice? Okay. Oh, Cooper, don't even bark. We have goldfish. Don't even bark. We have goldfish. Where should we go? Yeah, let's fuck it. Let's keep doing Mibu. I was gonna go grind out some money so that way we can fix our skill tree, but like, why would I do that? What? It wasn't letting me do the stealth attack. My dumbass. Okay, can we talk about that movie, The Oddity? Who the fuck recommended... Somebody in chat last night recommended it to me, or like yesterday. And me and Lee watched it last night. First off, I didn't realize that it was the same person that did Caveat. Oh wait, were you not a Pokemon fan? I never see any Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Japanese card game content. I am a Pokemon fan. I can absolutely do that if y'all want to see that. I just figure y'all don't give a shit. But I would be down to do Pokemon content. Oh no, did you not like it? I loved it. I loved it, but it freaked me the fuck out. I was so scared all night. That was the most tense that I had ever been watching a movie at nighttime. We watched it at nighttime. We watched it like quite literally at midnight. And that was like... Ooh! Speed run. Sorry, not speed run. I meant to say challenge run. Challenge run for anybody that wants to freak themselves out. Tonight, if you have Shudder, watch The Oddity tonight by yourself. Don't look into it. Don't read into it. Just watch it. Just watch it. Pokemon lore. Yeah, we could talk about the Pokemon War. Do y'all know about that? Lieutenant Surge fought in the Pokemon War. I'll watch Substance. Yeah, Substance is like a good time. Have you done any Lies of P stuff? No, I actually haven't played Lies of P, and we played the demo on stream before. Oh shit, he sees me. We played the demo on stream before, and I can absolutely play it in its entirety on stream if you guys would like. That can be our next one. Although my stream schedule is going to change a little bit. I'll probably know within the next like month or two. Or not month or two, what am I saying? In the next like week or so. Week or so. 2 to 3 weeks. I don't know what I'm fucking saying. My schedule's gonna change again. Sorry, I'm in kill mode right now. We just killing. You can't do that to me because there's a wall. Sorry, sir. Oh, the game audio is too loud? Okay, I got you. Music turning this farming session very intense, yeah. Playing Sekiro before Lies of P is actually really good practice. Made the game super easy for me. Nice. Oh shit. I wonder if I can just book it. Oh shit, I'm an old man. Watch out. Watch out, I'm an old man. Oh, get out of there. Get out of there. Well. Okay. The more time that passes since playing Lies of P, the fonder I feel about it. So good. I'm excited to play it then. I really did not like the demo. I had a really, really, really rough time with the demo. It's not that, like, it felt hard. It's that it just felt very clunky. And not in like a good way, in kind of like a unpolished, little odd way. But I've heard that it has improved like immensely, so I kind of liked the combat in Lies of P even more than Sekiro, though partially because of the different weapon and choice customization. I'm excited then. I think you'll really latch onto the stories being told. Nice. The level design was quite boring. Hmm. Yes, Lies of P stream at your leisure would be great. Okay, cool. I'll definitely do that next. I am gonna probably do Dragon Age, but I don't know if I'll stream it. Because I talked about this before, but I have a relationship with Dragon Age. Oh shit. A man. A man. Hey, Cooper! I have a relationship with that series, kind of like, I actually really loved Inquisition though, not gonna lie. It's such a weird roller coaster of a of a franchise, because like I loved Origins, I liked Awakening, I did not like Dragon Age 2, although I played it a lot. The Dragon Age 2 DLC started to ramp up a little bit, and I was like, okay. And then Inquisition was great. But then I'm not sure how I feel about how Veilguard looks. So we'll see. I do plan on playing it though, because I want to finish my story, damn it. Quaylog, I'm so pleased to hear you're a Dragon Age 2 hater. It is not a good game. I think that, like, if you're playing all the games as, like, a retrospective and you're going back and playing through them, it feels fine. Like, it's fine. It feels like there are certain things that feel smoother and a little bit of an improvement from Origins, but they took a lot away. They took a lot of dialogue options away, which was a bummer. But then when you looked at the other games that were out at that time, it blows your fucking mind. Because Mass Effect was out. There were other games that were out that had so much more fidelity and, like, that were just fantastic. I don't know. And then 2 came out and it just felt... Ugh, it felt short. It felt... Which isn't a bad thing, to be honest. It's fine if you... Like, short stories can be really good. But yeah, I think people say things are good about it. The writing, this setting are just not done very well. Kirkwall feels so shallow. It is. Is Dragon Age good? I've loved Mass Effect since forever, but I never played Dragon Age. Let me up. Uppies. Okay, wait. Sorry, somebody said something. But I can't hear anything over these- I can't read over these flutes. I can't fucking read over all these flutes, damn it. No, okay, so like Origins wasn't trying to be an action RPG. Like it's Cooper, can you stop? It's pretty clear that it was trying to be the answer for the fact that this okay, so context. There was a period. Hey, come here. Lay down. You're in trouble. You're in trouble. No. I think it's raining really hard outside and he's like uncertain what all the noise is. Give me 1 second. There's too much noise and Cooper's in trouble. Okay. Oh no, Cooper. Okay. Sorry. Oh, Cooper. It's okay. It's just rain. It's just rain outside. Yeah, so okay, here's the tea. Here's the breakdown. So Dragon Age Origins came out during an era in which we didn't think we were going to get a Baldur's Gate 3. We were living in like a post-Baldur's Gate era. I think a lot of us put those fantasies to like bed that we were ever going to go back to Baldur's Gate. So like Dragon Age was trying to be the answer. There was like definitely an absence in the industry that we wanted. We wanted like a classic RPG. Hey, it's okay. Cooper's having a rough time right now. I'm sorry, y'all. It's storming really hard outside. But then around the time EA acquired BioWare, and I think there was a lot of speculation as to what happened, but there definitely was a shift with Mass Effect and with Dragon Age where they wanted to really lean in on the action elements of the game and making the game a more cinematic, action-y experience on both IPs. And I think that Mass Effect, because it's a third-person shooter, it being more cinematic and more simplified, while it wasn't what I wanted, definitely suited the playstyle better for it to like be an action game. And I loved Mass Effect 3's multiplayer. One of my favorite multiplaying systems, like cover shooter, third person shooter multiplayer systems. It was so fun. Fantastic. But yeah, I think that there was a point in which BioWare is trying to like do a balancing act of still maintaining the depth of a classic RPG with dialogue options and with, you know, everything that makes a D&D story feel like a D&D story or like a fantasy story. But they also, it seemed like maybe had to go a certain route. I don't know. Or maybe that was just their creative decision. Maybe they really wanted to create a simplified version of a classic RPG. But Baldur's Gate has kind of proven that you can make a fucking masterpiece that's incredibly slow-paced and complex. But I think Baldur's Gate also had the IP name, like the branding, kind of draw up hype. Did I required? Woo! Yeah, that's what I meant. I just didn't write good. It's insane to me that it hasn't been copied. I know! So, like, I think, if we're talking about the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, I think that Casey Hudson tried to take it and use it for Anthem, but then Anthem just didn't take off. There's a lot of issues with that game. I loved the idea, though. It would have been such a cool concept if it was executed well. Cooper? I might have to actually end stream. Cooper's having a really fucking hard time right now. We haven't had a storm this bad in a hot minute. And we're having like the, you know when the rain is so thick, like the beads of rain are so thick that it makes noise all over your house? It's just loud and Cooper's just hearing noise happening and he's freaking out. So I might need to go lay with him and like chill out for a little bit. I'm so sorry, y'all. Hold on, let's get to the next Buddha. At the very least. Okay, you can make it, bitch. You can make it, bitch. Oh my god, she used Tomoe's lightning? No, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Baldur's Gate 3 does fill the Dragon Age Origins shaped hole in my heart. That Dragon Age 2 or Inquisition didn't. It's funny because Origins was supposed to fill the Baldur's Gate hole in your heart. So it's just like... It's goofy that it ended up this way. Teledor, I forgot if I'm able to ask. Where are you at? I don't want to dox anybody, obviously, but like, you can be as vague as possible. Landmarks. Oh, okay. I'm in an area that this is my vagueness. You could probably get like I'm in an area I want to say like about 50 minutes from you. So man, it's really coming down though. It's really coming down. Oh, I'm an old man! Fuck! Can't get me. You can't get me! You can't get me. I'm hopping. Not sure if it's the same rain. No, it rained really hard this morning and then it cleared up and then now it just blew through again. Cooper's looking out the window. The old man hops. I know what I need to do, I'm just not being patient enough to do it. No, don't hurt my old bones. Yeah. Okay. I was so excited for Anthem. Me too! Because I was such a diehard, I mean, I loved Mass Effect dearly, but like, I was such a diehard, Mass Effect multiplayer fan that having more of that in a game system that was just focused on it, I was really hoping for something good. Sorry, I need to focus. I got my focus tongue out. Okay. We did it. We did it, babes. We did it. We did it. We did it. Okay. Oh. Who's that boy? Frame perfect meditation. They really tried to zap you. Yeah, it's our fish boy. So that's in reference to the same myth that Magikarp and Gyarados are based off of, for those of you Pokemon fans out there. We're currently... So the myth is that there's like a carp that can swim its way up a waterfall and pass through a divine gate, and when it does, it can become a dragon. And we're currently at Fountainhead Palace, which is a plane of divinity, and it's like the astral plane almost. And so we have all these like giant carps and who are people. We've kind of established that there are these people that are in these pots, and these people will like you could trade them or give them carp scales. And what they're doing is they're trying to become the giant koi that can like, or like carp that can swim up to the Fountainhead Palace and become a dragon. It's pretty cool. But yeah, that being said, we've been streaming for 3 hours. I'm gonna give myself a break and head out for the day. I have so much, I got so much shit I gotta do. I gotta finish writing the script for the next video. It's a whole thing. Seeing this guy first time playing Sekiro was so cool. Yeah. It's really cool. It's cool, like, watching people go through it for the first time. Yeah, thanks so much for hanging out. Thanks for coming around. It's been really nice. I do wanna, there's like an indie survival horror game that I might stream at some point. This weekend is quite busy for me, so I don't know if I'll stream during the weekend. We'll see. But if I do, there's an indie horror game that I want to stream that I've been recommended by multiple people. We'll see. Okay.